Testing. Testing the microphone. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of A Little Bit Unglamorous. I'm your host, Erica Renee, and thank you for joining me this week. I have my pink on for the Barbie movie, and I'm so excited. I'm going to see it probably this week, and I know people are dressing up for the premiere, and I might go all out in my pink outfit with my Barbie shoes, so I'm excited for that. I've heard people from people who have seen it so far that they really like it. It's a cute story. I believe it was number one in the box office. It was competing with another movie, I believe, Oppenheimer. I believe it was number one in the box office. Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are amazing in it, and I'm so excited to see it. I have my coffee. Today. My newest hobby, because I can never have enough hobbies. So my newest obscure collection is teacups and coffee cups. And I was visiting my parents last week, and I raided all of my mom's extra teacups. Look how cute this one. This was my teacup this morning. These belong to my grandma, and I believe they're called, some little ASMR for you, Depression era cups. Funny story, I actually saw this exact same cup. They come with a little cute saucer as well. When I was in Arizona, I was going to thrift stores, and I've never been a thrift store girly before, but now I love it. Sometimes you find some really good finds there. I also am obsessed with collecting old suitcases. So I have a stack of those in my living room, and when I have enough of them, I kind of want to make a desk out of them, and they double as storage. But I was in Arizona, and I was walking around a few thrift stores they have there, and I saw so many of these exact teacup, and I thought about buying them, but I'm pretty certain my mom had many of them, which it turns out she did, and it just means a little bit more that the ones I have are actually in our family. But I do think it's fun wherever I go if I go to thrift stores, to find a new teacup to add to my collection, and maybe one day I can host a tea party or something. But I just think it's fun to drink your coffee out of or tea out of. It just kind of adds a little bit more pep into your day, makes it a little bit more special. So that's going to be my new thing. Wherever I travel to, I'm going to try to add to my little collection. I feel like I have quite a few already. Speaking of vintage items, I was raiding my mom's closet while I was at home, and we inherited tons of vintage purses from my grandma, among other things, and there were a whole bunch of them at home. And I think when we first got them, I didn't quite appreciate a statement piece as much as I do now, and for whatever reason, when I was home last, I decided I wanted almost all of them. They've been collecting dust. So I'm going to have my cute little vintage bags and my vintage teacups. And the only problem is I have virtually no closet space, and they're all kind of old school square shaped. So I have no idea where I'm going to store them. I feel like they need their own moment in my closet, but they are going to take up a bunch of space, and I think I need to get another shelf for them. So that's my current dilemma. I have them just over, you could probably even see them in the background, just on my countertop waiting to find a home in my closet. So while I was home, I went to one too many trips to Ulta and Sephora with my mom. We did all the things. It was her birthday, and coincidentally, it's going to be National Lipstick Day next week on the 29th. And I had been eyeing this lip gloss. It's almost the same color as my shirt. It's the cutest baby pink, among other things, but I'm wearing this one today, and I'm typically not sold on glosses. I typically don't spend higher amounts of money on glosses. I've never been a gloss girl, but right now I'm in my lip gloss girly era, And I got caught on this marketing. I was on Anastasia Beverly Hills Instagram, and they had a reel swatching this, and it is the most perfect jelly looking pink, no glitter, just a beautiful baby pink. It's in shade Cotton Candy, and I'm wearing it right now, but I'll swatch it for you too. Why not? Here's a little more ASMR for you. So pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? So I was sold, and I do not regret it one bit. Another funny story is I was watching one of my good friends on one of my makeup friends on Instagram. She does little get ready with me's, and every time I watch her, I want to buy something new, of course. Terrible for my wallet. And she was putting on this gorgeous nude lip gloss. It was this gorgeous nude liquid lip, and I thought to myself, oh, I need that, add to cart, and then I realized I already owned it. So I don't know what that says about my makeup obsession when I start forgetting the shades I actually already own. So last thing I needed was a new gloss, but hey, life's short. Buy the gloss, buy the shoes. So it has been so hot and humid lately. And here I was hoping for the sun to come out for summer, and it was so rainy this season. I remember talking about that recently, and I was hoping the sun would come out. It has been so overcast and humid. I have 2 fans in my apartment now, neither of which are on right now because I'm terrified that you're going to be able to hear the sound throughout the entire podcast. So I'm just marinating in the humidity while I film this with the lights all on me. But I've actually really been good with my scheduling lately. I've been filming, editing, and not getting it all up on the last minute. So I'm really proud of myself. I've been keeping up with my schedule. I just recently added the newsletter onto my plate of hobbies every single Friday. So if you haven't subscribed to that, the second edition goes out this Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So my first letter went out last Friday, and a lot of my friends said they really liked it. So thank you if you have subscribed, and look out for the next newsletter hitting your inbox this Friday. So in this week's Taylor Swift news, the Eras tour is wrapping up in the US. So there's only California concert dates left, and I'm so excited because my concert date is quickly approaching. I feel like I've been waiting for this forever. I've been talking about it forever, planning it forever, and it's finally almost here. And so I have pretty much everything locked in, except I'm very indecisive on what I want to wear, and I ordered this outfit. And I really wanted to be the anti-hero Taylor from her music video. And I found an exact replica of the outfit from the seller on Etsy. And I ordered it, only afterwards realized the shipping ETA is after my concert. So that might not work out, and I'll have to have a plan B. But part of the order actually did show up the other day, which was super early before the expected shipping. So I have my fingers crossed that maybe it'll come in on time, and I won't have to worry about buying a whole new outfit. If so, I will be anti-hero Taylor Swift for something else coming up. Maybe I'll wear it for my podcast. Also, the bracelet making has officially started, and I must say, I didn't anticipate it being so tedious. I haven't made a friendship bracelet in years and years and years and years, and I'm making them. I solicited my mom for help. We were up making them last week. We started. I still have many left to go. I think I only have about 11 made in the span of the 2 hours or so that we were working on them. And we were up, I kid you not, until 2:40 in the morning trying to make these bracelets. And we'd be done with one, be so excited, and then accidentally drop it all on the floor. And I can't tell you how many times that happened. But so As we were making them, I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, they're turning out so cute. I'm not going to want to give away any of them. I love all of them. So I'm trying to make duplicates so that way I can keep ones that I really like and still participate in the trading. But I'm really stoked. I haven't been to LA in... I can't even remember the last time I ever went to LA. So I'm really excited to take this trip and check out some of the fun stuff there besides the concert venue. And hopefully the lines aren't too chaotic. I haven't really looked into it lately, but I know the beginning of the concert, it was just complete chaos with the merch line. And I really want to get some merch as a part of the experience. But if the line is hours long, I'm going to have to no-go that. The plan is to show up early. So we're coming in a day early, and the plan is to go to the merch line the day before our show. So that way we're not stressed. And the day of, we could just casually get ready, roll up. We don't have to worry about standing in a line. So hopefully that works out. And luckily we are able to do that. So in other news, the Writers Guild strike is still happening. The set of Wicked was supposed to be coming out with a movie, and Ariana Grande stars in it. The set of Wicked has been completely abandoned. Production's at a complete standstill because of this strike. And I follow quite a few celebrities on Instagram just to keep up to date with things. And I did see the cast of Boy Meets World. They were on the picket lines. If you don't remember, Boy Meets World was a very popular sitcom show in the 2000s, and it was about high schoolers and basically a coming of age show. And it was just a really cute show about teenage love and this one couple throughout the whole seasons of the show, which it ran for many, many seasons. I remember the writers made the boy cheat on the girl in like one of the last seasons, and I will never forgive them for that. However, the actor who played their teacher, William Daniels, he played Mr. Feeney. He is 96 years old now, and he made an appearance in a video about the strike. And he spoke out about the writer's strike as well. I saw a cute video with the old cast and all of the actors there. One of the actors would always joke in the series, he would make fun of Mr. Feeney's name and say, Mr. Feeney. And anyway, so that actor, Ryder Strong, who played in the series, he called for Mr. Feeney and his advice in the situation, because that's what they would always do in the show. And William Daniels was in their video. He did a segment spliced in their video. Basically put in his very knowledgeable 2 cents about his opinion on the matter in a very Mr. Feeney-esque way, and basically in support for the writers' strike, to pay the writers what they deserve. I feel like there's been so many celebrity divorce dramas lately, and it makes me so sad. And one of them, if you haven't heard in the news, has been Ariana Grande and her husband Dalton, who just got married, I believe, during COVID. Maybe they got together during COVID and got married slightly after. They haven't been married very long at all. News of them splitting hit the newsstands, and I'm so bummed about it. I remember looking at her wedding photos and thinking it looked so beautiful. It was kind of out of left field when she got married, but everybody was rooting for her and wishing her the best. And I'm thinking that it's true just because she was seen at Wimbledon without her ring and deleted all of her photos of him and their wedding off of her Instagram page. There's even rumors of her dating her new co-star in Wicked now, so things move quick. Oh, and I was talking in the last episode about the Spice Girls and the last time they had a reunion. And I think I said something like, I can't remember what they last reunited for, but I remember it being so important, like a really big event. It was the Olympics. It was the 2012 London Olympics, where they were the headlining performers because they're all from London, and they all flew in. They all drove in on their cars through different directions that were in the shape of the British flag, and it was really cool. And I remember thinking it was so iconic. I recently saw a clip last week coincidentally, it was a Victoria Beckham, and I think she was having drinks with friends, caught on video singing karaoke to one of her old Spice Girls songs, and it was the funniest thing ever. People always give Victoria slack because she never really, I don't think she had any solo parts in any of their music. She was more of a background singer. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what her voice sounds like. Speaking of singers in concert, I actually do have a hot take for this week. And I saw this headline and it kind of made my blood boil. It made me very annoyed. And this one's about Miranda Lambert. I talked about her in the last episode, so I have a follow-up to that. So ever since the news came out about her pretty much stopping her show to berate a fan who was taking a selfie at the concert, there have been people coming out saying that she has acted like this in the past and done some questionable things. One woman from her hometown, she posted a TikTok saying apparently Miranda used to donate to this animal shelter from her hometown, and she loved donating every single year, and apparently the shelter relied on her donations to basically keep them afloat. And she even went as far as to have a concert every year dedicated in their honor, and she would donate all the proceeds to this charity, which is amazing. Great for her. However, the TikTok changed real quick, did a real quick 180, and the woman then follows up and says, one year, Miranda was putting together this event. She was at the event performing, and apparently the person who was in charge of the charity was so excited and got up and said, Miranda's going to be touring, and announced it to everyone. And apparently Miranda was so upset that someone else announced their tour that she decided that she was not going to donate to that charity anymore. I mean, it is her money. She has the right to do whatever she wants with it, but to go as far as making a big deal that you are supporting this rescue, make a concert in their honor, and then just leave them high and dry out of nowhere, I don't think that's a good look. Furthermore, I still stand behind the girl who was taking the selfie. I don't think they were doing any harm. They weren't being loud, belligerent, just having a good time at the show they probably spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars to be at. So all I know is if I was at Taylor Swift's concert and she berated me in the crowd as I was taking a photo, I would be absolutely horrified, and I don't know if I would be a fan anymore. This next article I saw is actually a spicy one. The models are getting arrested again. Gigi Hadid was arrested for possession of marijuana. And it just takes me back to the 2000s where celebrities and models, everyone, they had their day in court for some kind of drug-related charge. And it reminds me specifically of when Paris Hilton went to court for cocaine possession. The police had found a purse with cocaine in it. And her official argument was there was no way that was her purse. That purse was too cheap looking to be hers. And I believe she was acquitted and never charged or settled. But it just goes to show if you have enough money, you can make anything go away. So Gigi Hadid was arrested for marijuana possession in the Cayman Islands. And apparently she took a private jet there with her girlfriends, and they were having a girls' weekend or girls' trip. And she has a medical license, so she purchased this legally in New York City and then was trying to transport it to another country, which is probably not the best idea, but she got stopped at customs, searched, and they confiscated it and detained her, so she was in jail until she posted bail. However, marijuana is legal in Grand Cayman since 2017, so I don't know what the issue was there. Maybe it's because she didn't have her medical card, or it doesn't translate over when you go to another country, but she was detained. She was detained and fined $1,000, which is pennies, right? And then, so her representative has said since then her record remains clear, so she wasn't charged of anything, and she enjoyed the rest of her time on the islands. And my mom was reading this article, and she actually said, I bet she did enjoy the rest of her time in the Cayman Islands. Probably not, since they confiscated all of her drugs. Something that will make everyone feel old is, who remembers Here Comes Honey Boo Boo? She was on Toddlers and Tiaras, this very outgoing, vivacious toddler, and she got a spin-off show because she was so entertaining. She was from this small town. She didn't look like a normal pageant girl, but her mom had her in all of these pageants, and she had a TV show. She is starting college now and is going to be living with her boyfriend, I guess, and I saw that article and I was like, oh my goodness, where has the time gone? It just makes you feel so weird. Something else over the weekend that was very sad is Tony Bennett passed away. Tony Bennett has been singing for decades. I don't think he ever officially retired. He sang until his very final days. I know he was battling Alzheimer's, and he would still do performances even though he was dealing with this very scary illness. And I know he would perform with Lady Gaga in the past. He also performed with Amy Winehouse, and he would do all sorts of collaborations. Him and Lady Gaga came out with a album in 2019. They collaborated and came out with a jazz, big band type vibes album, and I know that they became very close. They used to do concerts together, and I remember seeing a clip of them, and it was one of their very last performances together. I think the last time he performed live as well in 2019. Was it 2019? No, 2021. Very, very recently, not his 95th birthday. And I'm not certain if this last time was with Lady Gaga, but I know his last time with Lady Gaga was also fairly recent. So despite his medical issues, Tony Bennett kept performing, which is extraordinary to me. I believe he, couldn't recall names or people any longer, but he would still get on stage and do this whole set. I don't know how he was able to do that. And I saw a clip of him and Lady Gaga at one of their last performances together, promoting their album. So they were singing one of their songs from the album. And she announced him to come on stage. He came on stage to sing with her. When he came onto the stage, he looked at her and said, Lady Gaga, and she started crying because apparently he had not remembered her name for a very long time, and in that moment he remembered her, and for her, it was just so special, and I just can't believe that he was able to still put on an amazing performance despite his medical issues that he was struggling with. And his last performance was actually in 2021, so 2 years ago, and it was for his 95th birthday at New York's Radio City Music Hall. So it's really quite extraordinary that he just performed his entire career. I think he had something like 70 albums, but it is truly a tragedy. He lived a very long life, had an amazing career. I really want to get his vinyls, would be perfect to add to my collection. I want to look into getting that collab album and maybe a greatest hits album of his to add to my vinyl collection. But the music industry lost a legend over the weekend. In other celebrity tragic news, so it apparently has been 10 years since Corey Monteith, he was the star, one of the stars of Glee. He passed away 10 years ago unexpectedly from an accidental overdose, and it was very sad, very tragic. I remember I used to love the show Glee, and they put out a tribute episode to him, and it was just so unbelievably sad. At the time, he was dating his co-star, Leah Michele. I feel like the cast of Glee has had a lot of very tragic things happen to many of the cast members. As you know, the late Naya Rivera, who was in the show, also passed from drowning a few episodes ago. I was talking about how much I loved her memoir, and I listened to that on the audiobook version because she narrated it. It was amazing. Moving on from less sad news and more celebrity drama, Doja Cat has been under fire, and her career has been an interesting one. She came on the scene sort of hot and heavy. She had quite a few hits, and I think she's had 2 albums now, I believe, coming out with another one. And she has been doing some interesting things with her image. She's kind of always been a little bit out there in left field, kind of taking the Lady Gaga route. You know, when Lady Gaga first came on the scene, she thought she had to do something to make herself stand out. So she would do weird things like wear the meat dress to the music awards and just put on these crazy displays of performance. And it worked because it got all of the news talking about her and all eyes were on her. Now we're seeing in her career, she's kind of reached this level of stardom that her voice speaks for itself because she's such an amazing artist. So she doesn't need to hide behind all of the theatrics, but to a certain extent, it's kind of your image. Doja Cat is sort of taking a similar route. However, it almost seems as if she doesn't want to be in the limelight. And she almost appears to be ungrateful for the level of celebrity and fame that she has. So she has grown to the level of stardom very quickly. Her life has taken a complete turn, and she goes on social media rampages. So over the weekend, she went to the new app Threads, which is the new Meta social media platform, and she started trolling fans for her fandom name, which, if you don't know, a lot of people who are very dedicated to a artist, for example Taylor Swift, call themselves a certain name. Swifties. Selena Gomez has the Selenators. Justin Bieber has the Beliebers. So the fandom of Doja Cat named themselves Kittens with a Z, and you know, it's fitting, her name has cat in it. And over the weekend she went to Threads and basically said she hated that name, and anybody who's a fan of her doesn't call themselves that because no fan would waste their time being on the internet. To make things worse, she kept going when fans were arguably upset. She was replying to people to get a job. And somebody replied to her and said, "I want to hear you say, 'I love you guys,' though, because we're your fans." And she replied saying, "I don't, though, because I don't know y'all." Yikes. And even further, someone replied and said, "We don't know you, but we've always supported you through thick and thin. You'd be nothing without us. You'd be working at a grocery store, making songs on GarageBand, Miss High School Dropout." Yikes. And she basically was in arguments with people on this app who are her fans, basically stirring up drama and making the people who support her and did put her where she is, turning them against her. Fans were very quick to point out that she herself named her fandom that, and she replied, "Yeah, when I was an alcoholic teen." So lots of cringe, very strange. I don't know what her motive is behind that, if she's trying to get dropped from her label. She just seems very unhappy. The whole thing is just very cringe. I know artists are often unhappy with the way their image is and want to change or branch out, or maybe she just doesn't want to be doing what she's doing at all, but attacking your fans is not the route to go. So as we know, Threads recently rolled out as Twitter's #1 competitor. It looks exactly the same, which prompted the feud between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. The feud has just been ongoing with talks of this cage fight, and now Elon Musk has decided to completely rebrand Twitter, simply renaming it X. Didn't he name his kid something like that as well? But so he got rid of the bird logo. He's completely rebranding it. And do you think that the rebrand will be successful, or do you think people have already had enough of Twitter and they've just moved on to other things? Because I know when Facebook came out, MySpace was the hot thing, and then people started moving over to Facebook. MySpace completely died. What do you think? Do you think Twitter is going to survive this rebrand, or do you think they're done? Personally, I'm not sure. Usually brands are not able to come back from such a drastic rebranding. I think maybe Twitter has rode its wave. People seem really fed up with it. Personally, I got rid of Twitter forever ago, just having another social media app. And people always argue that Twitter is a very toxic environment just because people can spew all sorts of crazy things at you, and it's not a very welcoming environment, although it can be a very entertaining, hilarious environment. While people can be very funny on the internet, people can also be very, very rude. Hopefully you can't hear my toilet singing in the background because it's been making this weird noise for a while. And I called my apartment management company, left a voicemail and said, hey, my toilet's acting weird. Oh, and also water from the other apartments coming up my sink. But apparently that's not important enough for them to call me back. So ever since I've gotten back, I've been on this cleaning and organizing streak. I'm trying to clean out my apartment, and I have a front deck area that's been unused for quite a while now, and I cleaned that all up yesterday. I have this bike that I've been hanging on to for years and have ridden it maybe a handful of times that I'm trying to get rid of just because it's just cluttering my space. I don't have enough room, but I'm really excited to finally be able to use my porch again and maybe have coffee out there and edit these podcasts out there. It'll definitely be nice to actually utilize all of my space again. And that is all I have for you this week. I am going to put my link for my newsletter in the description if you would like to subscribe. Volume 2 will be coming out this Friday, and I will see you guys in next week's episode. Bye, guys.